if we've never met before, my name is Rachel, and I like to talk about spirituality, overcoming suffering, becoming your happiest and highest self. And today I want to talk about overcoming the fear of being seen. If this helps you, I would love if you like the video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And if you want to hear more about this sort of content and changing your life, then I'd highly recommend subscribing. If not, that's okay too. But I like to say at the beginning also of my videos and what I share, I only have my personal experience, so I will talk about what I've experienced in my life. However, because of all that experience, I have so much to offer and give people and help other people who are also on that journey. So I will start by saying that I was very shy growing up, and I don't know, in certain, I actually don't put myself in a lot of social situations right now where I don't enjoy being around the people. Like, I don't really like to go out, so I don't. So I think some people might say, like, oh, in situations I might be quiet, but I've just really learned that there are people that I want to open up to and talk to. And when you get me talking, like, I will talk about something I really care about and I'm passionate about, like why I can make these videos now. But a lot of it is I just kind of choose to keep to myself, to really protect my energy. And that's something that I really have come to enjoy on my journey, especially because we're so conditioned and told, like, you have to be around people all the time. Like, I really don't want to be. I get people sensitive, and that might be you if you're highly sensitive and or empathic like me. But so I think when I was younger, I was just afraid of being seen. I was afraid of being seen for my big feelings. So I had big emotions, but I was often told, like, hey, stop that, or, you can't feel your feelings. Or if I maybe tried to speak my truth and how I was feeling, that was shut down. And this is very, very common. You can think of a kid throwing a tantrum in a grocery store and we tell them to stop, because it is a lot, but it's like they need to process those feelings at that time. So if we just learn to repress them over time, that's what causes, oh, I can't be seen, I can't have my big feelings, I can't have my big emotions, I can't have my big thoughts, I can't live to my highest potential that I came here to live, right? So all these things really catapult into each other. So looking at my experience of overcoming being shy or the fear of being seen, through my healing journey, I've really learned how to just become more comfortable in my body. So that's a huge piece of this. And that's going to come in a lot of layers. So it might be doing a physical yoga practice or doing vagus nerve work or meditations just so you can feel more safe in your body. That's a lot of butterfly hugs, right? It's a lot of emotional freedom technique. It's the emotion code, it's body code, it's getting energy work, it's maybe going to talk therapy if you need to talk about stuff. If you don't have a therapist or you can't afford one, you can talk about things out loud to yourself in the car. You can journal. If you don't have anyone that you can trust to listen to your big feelings, you maybe don't, and that's okay. That's why I said speak out loud into a car, just to let all that stuff out. Or if you have someone that you trust, like a family member or just a friend or whoever, maybe you just ask, like, hey, can I just have you listen? I feel like I really need to be heard. Okay. And, the intent of that is to just say, like, can I just be heard? And maybe asking, like, I don't want advice right now. I don't feel like that would be helpful. What would be most helpful for me is to just talk and be witnessed in who I am, which is very vulnerable and authentic and genuine. We don't often, again, do this, but it can be so incredibly healing. Then if you want to go a little deeper, I know that I'm a healer and I've had lots of healing lives. I have healers on both sides of my family. So some of us do have this wounded gift of remembering when we actually took up space and helped people that we were killed for it. So for some reason, us humans have been stuck in kind of prisons and jails for a long time of saying, like, no, you have to stay small. Like, you can't step into your power. There's so much fear. You have to stay small. You can never become the person you want to be. And unfortunately, that's kept a lot of gifts in the dark, in the closet. Unfortunately, it's kept a lot of healing gifts from being turned on and DNA being activated and from us reaching our highest potential. So like I said, if you want to go deeper, like I have kind of on this witchy or more spiritual journey, understand that, well, first of all, actually reflect on the gifts that you have had your entire life. So maybe as a kid, you were very drawn to animals. You've always been empathic. You can feel the energies of a room. Lots of cool gifts, right? And benefits that you've been given just in this human physical body. So the more that you can lean into what you're really good at, what you're naturally good at, what the world needs, the more you can start to embody that and remember why it's so important for you to share your gifts. And then you really just kind of build courage as a muscle. You build courageous actions over time with taking action. So like I just said, the experience of maybe asking someone like, hey, can you just witness me and can I share my thoughts and feelings right now? Like that is very scary to do, and it's very brave and courageous. And might even also be brave and courageous for you to reflect on your emotions and feelings for the first time in your life. You know, that is also very brave and courageous. And my guess would be is most people haven't done this over time. But again, I have learned the more that I have done that and just reflected and been with myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can free myself from all the negative stuff I've been harboring and thinking and carrying around for a long time. So it's actually the most empowering thing you can do. And if we're talking about overcoming the fear of being seen, it is about stepping into your power and stepping into who you are as a soul. Have fun. So creativity is really going to allow you to flow. You know, like I would say the example of being in high school and the fear of being seen in the lunchroom, like, ooh, what am I wearing today? Like people are going to judge me. There's also like, again, just being a woman, but other people at work experience this too. Like, oh, well, I can't share my ideas in a meeting because it's dumb or someone's gonna write them off or it's not a good idea. Like to kind of get out of that rigid putting yourself in a box and the ego that is protecting you and your mind is trying to keep you small. That's why you move a little bit, you stretch, you take up space, you do yoga, you do tai chi, you do qigong, you go for a walk, you go for a run, like move that kinetic energy through so you aren't just carrying yourself around in a stuck little box that has to be so constricted and so tight, right? Like if we're experiencing this on an emotional and mental level with the conditions we have and the trauma that we've had, we stay little. But if you want to expand and you want to be seen more, you have to take up space, right? So that means physically take up space. Like I said, opening up the chest, moving, that's really going to help these energy centers open. And, you know, it is really powerful. It's super, what do I want to say? Super, it's not like a big gesture, but the more you do that on a daily basis of like, oh my gosh, like I'm comfortable in my body, I can take up space, I love me. That's how you start to overcome your fear of being seen. And again, I can talk from personal experience, being so shy growing up. I started to get more comfortable in my body. I started to let my creativity flow. And then, yeah, taking the brave, courageous action, you know, just like, okay, example today. There's a sauna place opening up here locally, and I emailed the person just like from the website because it's opening soon, and I was like, hey, I don't know if you're still hiring, but I'd love to inquire. And she was like, oh, I stopped at interviews yesterday, but I'd love to still meet you today. And I was like, okay. And I'm just like looking for a job, putting feelers out there. I'm always open to options. And I had a really nice conversation with her. There were synchronicities. She's like, I really appreciate you reaching out. I was like, I'm glad I reached out too. Like, I just wanted to be seen. And I had a conversation with her, even though it was an interview. I was kind of like looking at it after I was done. I was like, I didn't even really want it as an interview though. Like, I just wanted to talk with someone and make that connection. And that's also a part of being in your flow and your manifestations. And I'm a manifesting generator in human design, which means follow what feels good and what lights you up because you're going to learn something. So yeah. Oh, and then I would say the final part of this is forgiving, whether you have to forgive yourself or forgive other people. Understand that you may need to forgive other people for making you small and making you feel like you need to go in a box, but understand you were putting yourself in that box to protect yourself in order to feel safe, so like you could survive. So maybe you do send out forgiveness to people, but you also forgive yourself and understand and say to yourself or out loud, I understand the choice that I made. Growing up, I had to keep myself small in order to survive. However, I'm moving forward and choosing to take up space. I'm overcoming my fear of being seen. I know that I'll be safe. I demand and command protection. And I call in the strength and fortitude to become seen and happier and healthier in this life, or whatever it is you truly desire. So yeah, like I said, like this video if it helps you. Comment any questions down below. If you have inquiries for personal coaching or healing or readings, I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe if you want to hear more. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.